What's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. And so I don't know if you guys saw this other day. There's been some breaking news in regards to this. Something's very fishy about this one, but an Arkansas airport executive was killed in a shootout, and they said he was under weapons investigation. Brian Malinowski was the executive director of Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport in Little Rock, Arkansas. He had a shootout with the ATF when they tried to serve a search warrant in his home. So they said that he was trying to sell firearms without a license. He, per the ATF, opened fire on them. Of course, they're going to say that. They said they tried to serve him a search warrant at, guess what time? 6 a.m. That is the time. If you get your door knocked down at 6 a.m., it's federal agents. Every single one of these death squads have went through a home at 6 a.m. Have you noticed that? I think I've covered maybe 3 or 4 of these at this point. These government hit squads come to your house at 6 a.m. That's when they come. So they said that the investigation began in November when authorities in Canada received a photo of firearms from a confidential informant, and after visible serial numbers showed that they were bought by Malinowski. Now, that's very suspicious to begin with. Like, what kind of operation they got going on with Canada, number one. And also, it's not illegal to sell firearms. So, investigators allege in the document that Malinowski bought more than 150 guns from May 2021 to February 27 and sold guns, including at gun shows. Okay, so again, depending on your state law, it's not like we have to have a gun register or anything like that. You can have a bill of sale in my state where you just write up on a napkin that I sold this to Johnny, and that's it. So how this came about, strange, and 150 guns, what's the problem with owning 150 guns? And this was purchased since May 2021. I still am not seeing the issue here. Now, 6 guns were later recovered in the commission of a crime, they say. An undercover ATF agent bought 3 others at gun shows, the document says. One of the guns was cited in an affidavit was found on a 15-year-old Norteño gang member in California in 2022. He could have sold that gun with a bill of sale. That guy could have had the gun stolen. And I mean, there's just so much fishiness with this. I would like to know what the guy's political standing was. I would like to know who he voted for. I would like to know. There's so much to this story that I'm just not buying what they're trying to pitch. Again, 6 a.m., no knock raid. You know what time it is. So let's take a glimpse at Joe Biden's America. This is what this video is about tonight, because we're in a boiling pot. And I see all the time in the comments, and just people that I see going through day-to-day life, just kind of unaware of where we're at as a country. But this is a homeowner in New York City. You may have seen this, and I apologize if you had, but I have a lot to talk about this.
House, man. Relax. No.
To understand how this day ended,
we need the police right away.
With multiple 911 calls and arrests, we have to start at the beginning.
Adele, the hardest question is, how do you say your name?
We met Adele Andaloro outside the home her parents left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it.
No, he left it.
But she's been locked out. She claimed squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave.
What's it like being here knowing you can't go inside of your own home?
It's enraging. It really is.
In New York, squatters have rights after 30 days.
Squatters should not have rights whatsoever. This is what happens with Democrat-run states.
By the time that someone does their investigation and they do their work and their job, we'll be well over the 30 days, and this man will have stolen my home. And now she's back.
Just after wrapping up our interview, a woman showed up.
What are you doing in the house? Are you renting this house?
I'm not renting.
Why are you here?
She unlocked the front door, saw our cameras, and took off.
It's open. Let's go in the house. It's open.
Adele and her daughter, with the property deed in hand, went inside.
This is my furniture. These are my curtains.
She didn't just find her belongings inside.
There's a man sleeping right there. Get out of my house.
She found two men.
How long have you lived here?
I moved in about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmiths. I didn't come in illegally. The door was open.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking for documents.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for more than 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs.
They got one out.
And
Let me just stop. Hypothetically, what were to happen if someone ran into this scenario? I mean, being a squatter is very dangerous. And I don't know the laws of New York, but let's say in my state, and let's say an individual went to a home, there were squatters in there. I don't think we have squatter laws, but I could be wrong. But you go there, someone is lying in bed like this, and the guy gets popped, and then he gets a knife placed on his body. I wouldn't risk it if I was a squatter. I mean, you have the potential of getting offed.
and escorted the other guy off the property.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. And that's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
How you doing?
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed.
That's not going on.
The man who claims to be
See now this is breaking and entering. The locks are changed. This guy's busting the house. It's self-defense situation.
the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this? This guy just literally broke down my door. Broke through myself and my daughter to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he did
And
not.
so did you.
Ma'am.
You broke through the front door.
Officer.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. You need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue. And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police.
If you own this house, you would not want her
I don't own
inside.
the house. I don't own it.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do know how it
There's-
works.
There's rules to the as you got to go to court and send me to civil court.
He says he signed a lease in October, but wouldn't tell us with who.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
But who are you for me to show? I showed it to cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Come here, brother. I like that.
I would like to see it.
He didn't show me a lease.
This is a bill.
This is
A bill for work he says he had done to the house. He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have the lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
Being arrested
For what?
for being in my own home.
And
Let me just comment to it. Must be cold there. This lady's got earmuffs on. I hadn't seen earmuffs since I was a kid.
where's your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed
That's
is
what was
current
told
and
already.
legal.
Arrested
It's not her. You hear these criminals. It's not her house anymore. There's rules to this.
for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there.
So how does this all end then? When do you leave?
The way it ends is either she pays me my money that I put into the house, pay me the money, and I'll leave, or send me to court, and we deal with the judge in court. It's that simple.
So now I've got to pay this guy to leave my house. This is crazy. This is crazy. If I was to show you this 20 years ago, you'd be like, there's no way. And there's a reason why all this is happening. It's by design. Now, I do want to say that when these things like this happen, when the rule of law gets thrown by the wayside, you start having vigilantes. And apparently a group of vigilantes tried to evict the squatters out of this queen's house. Now, this queen's house is worth $1 million after Homeowner was confronted. So after it aired on the news, some vigilantes went over there and tried to take care of business. But they were arrested. So you trying to do the right thing, trying to be a good citizen, trying to take care of your community, you're arrested, right? This is all by design. Now, this is the same place that they're paying for luxury hotels for migrants. People from all over the world are coming to New York. They're getting cell phones. They're getting thousands of dollars a month. They're getting maids. They're getting cooks, chefs, and things like this. Look at this migrant camp. Now, this is drone footage that was taken at Floyd Bennett Field in Marine Park, Brooklyn, New York City. Look at how vast this thing spans. Now, you may not can tell by the scale of it. Look at some of the equipment there so you can kind of get the scale of it. Check it out. That is huge. That's just one of them. We've got this stuff everywhere. We've got it everywhere. Now, this is also the same place that is trying to have Trump pay $435 million before he can appeal a crooked judge's decision. So on X, Griffin, this gentleman sent me an amazing article that explains exactly what's going on right now. Exactly. This is a tactic. It's called Anarcho-tyranny. And basically what it means is the law is powerless to help you, but it can still harm you. That's the lamest terms. It is basically when the state stops upholding its end of the social contract to use its monopoly on violence for its own ends. So this is exactly what's going on. That's why you see good, normal citizens being punished, like this lady getting arrested for people going in her house. The same things happened in 2020. If you remember, we saw the country burn all over the United States. Cities burn, businesses burn, people were beat up in the streets, all in the name of social justice. Now, we had CNN calling for it. We had Nancy Pelosi calling for it. And you may have always thought that was odd, but it's because they wanted this to happen. This was all part of the plan. So we had these individuals in 2020 getting away with committing crimes. And just so happened they were able to wear face coverings because that was the norm, so they could not be identified. They would loot stores, right? Like AOC said, they needed bread to eat, so they loot stores. I didn't think there was any bread in Louis Vuitton, but anyway, we saw destruction and vandalism, and the police sat and watched it happen. Police cars were getting flipped over right in front of the police, set on fire, and police were watching it happen. Now, unless, of course, that is you are defending yourself or your property, in which case you were punished severely for it. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse. Got attacked by 3 people. He got a Glock pulled on him, and he was facing trial. Okay. We saw other businesses, people being arrested for trying to stop mobs from burning their businesses down. And it was rampant. So they were using the anarcho-tyranny method with this. If you look at them going into election season, they wanted to make the country look as bad as possible. It was like a civil war was going on in the streets of America. And, oh, the country is in ruins. We have to fix it. It was all part of their plan. And they're doing it again. We see law-abiding citizens getting arrested for trying to protect themselves, protect their property. We have the DOJ doing no-knock raids on people, ATF, FBI. Meanwhile, we have migrants in the streets causing chaos, sexually assaulting, murdering, you name it. They're getting slapped on the wrist. The guy that was the guys that beat up the police officer got out immediately. And now, you know, a lot of people, I know there may be some libertarians here, but we have libertarians now posting this. Libertarian group from Louisiana is calling for arms for migrants. We just talked about this the other day about how the federal judge said that migrants could carry firearms. The libertarians are saying whether you're a citizen, legal resident, or undocumented migrant, you deserve the right to defend yourself and your loved ones. Rights are for everyone. The purpose of the Second Amendment is to protect people and their rights. Those under attack deserve the right to defend, no matter what form where they're from. That is scary. This is how crazy America has gotten. We literally have libertarian groups promoting migrants deserve the right to defend themselves no matter where they're from. But meanwhile, we have America trying to take firearms from common citizens. And whether you like it or not, America is unrecognizable. And I say this all the time, and people are like, they always say, man, doom and gloom, fear porn. We've been watching the destruction of America day to day, day in and day out, week after week, month after month, year after year. It's been happening. And for you to call what's happening doom and gloom, it's because you're not paying attention. You're a sheep. You're a sheep. America's changing whether you like it or not. And it's happening so fast. They have got their foot pedal to the metal, man. Throttles cranked. The United States is barely recognizable as the country you grew up in. Think about it. Criminals are allowed to do whatever they want to do. The rule of law doesn't exist unless you're part of the opposition. And when I mean opposition, I mean a regular, hardworking American that has values and morals. No matter your race or any of that stuff, if you're an American that cares about values and morality, you're part of the opposition to the progressive left Marxist Democrats. You are. They're weaponizing law enforcement against you because they're communist. They're wanting communism. They're wanting socialism, communism. It's the easiest way to segue into the New World Order. They're allowing illegal aliens to carry guns because why? They're communist. And they're making your kids, they're taking your kids from you. They're indoctrinating them in school with LGBT ideology. They don't say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. They probably don't even have an American flag in the classroom anymore. Why? Because they're communists. They want to destroy everything that America, the fabric that held it together. And I see conservatives all the time, man. The thing is, when you say this, they're going to say a few things. You're racist, you're homophobic. It's none of those things. You're not saying any of those things. But that's what they say. No matter what you say, that's what they're going to call you, because that's how they shut you down, and conservatives will bow down. Right? This isn't about race. It's not about any of those things. But that's the tactic they use, Marxism, to try to shut you down. They will have no base on why they're calling you that. They're just going to call you that to try to shut you up. Now, but you're going to try to convince this person that you're not racist or homophobic. And these are the same people that believe men can get pregnant, that you're trying to convince that you're not. Stop trying to convince these people. I want to show you, look at this invasion. They're overtaking our military now. This happened today. This is Texas. This is Texas today. So this was El Paso, Texas earlier today, and showing migrants forced their way past the National Guard and breaching razor wire line along the border. This is America. If I'd have shown you this 20 years ago, man, any American, you'd have been like, what? Oh, this is doom and gloom. This fear porn. Dude, it's happening. Wake up. I get tired of so many Americans being asleep, dude. I really do. You wonder why we're losing? We're going to be in cages eating crickets, listening to Taylor Swift, because a lot of these Americans will not wake up to this. This is happening. So going back to our earlier story, there was a TikToker of Venezuelan with about 500,000 followers. His name is Leonel Moreno. Basically, he's a fighting age male, and he's trying to get more migrants to invade the country and sequester homes and take advantage of squatting laws. Check him out.
He pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas, ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas, ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la calle y no ser una carga pública. Capichi, la ley dice que las casas abandonadas, deterioradas y que esté en mal estado, podemos llegar y repararlas, vivir en ella y si podemos venderla, hasta pedir créditos con ella. ¿Qué dicen ustedes?
So again, he's basically voicing squatter rights and saying for all of them to invade our country. And I remember vividly whenever Trump warned of this, he warned of other countries sending their criminals here, and that's what we've had by and large. Mexico will not take them back. They've already said that. Mexican president said he would not take them back. Venezuela was emptying their prisons and busing them here because they were at capacity. They want to get rid of the mouse to feed down there. And again, this is a snapshot of what's going on in our country. And if I was to show you this 20 years ago, you'd be like, there's no way. There's no way that's America. 5 years ago, you'd probably be like, there's no way. But we're here, and it's only going to get worse. 2024 will be the year. I've been saying it. It will be the year. It's going to get bad, and nobody's coming to save you. I don't think Trump will make it to election, to be honest with you. I got another video coming up about that probably tomorrow. But there's no one coming to save you. These people are so determined to push us this way. The Bible talked about it. It's all coming true. It's all coming to a culminating event. And you got to stay frosty, strapped, and dangerous, guys. I mean, it is. Because the fact of the matter is that when you try to protect yourself, your family, you will be targeted as a criminal. It's how it is. It's how it's going to be. Get ready and buckle up. But John, thanks, buddy. And Dr. Krypton, the Scarlet Crap has been happening for 20 years ago. Yeah, it has been. It has been. But now they're being told about it. Thank you, John. Now they're being told about it. They're being told about it to come here. That guy has 500,000 followers. Where do you think his followers are from? Venezuela. That's where he's from. He's already here in the country. He's calling all those people. They know now. The border's open. They're allowing them to come through. I know the Supreme Court is saying that Texas can do, but they'll just come through other states. Hell, the Border Patrol probably helping them get across. Their goal is to get as many here to try to get votes. Elon Musk broke it down the other day. We've been saying this stuff for past year, and people are just so oblivious to where we're at. It's the slow boil. Throw the frog in the pot, he'll jump out, but the slow boil, he's going to sit there. And too many Americans are too just blindsided there. They go through day-to-day life, watching television, watching sports, getting fast food. Their lives are too comfortable. A man doesn't want to leave comfort. That's the problem. And that's where we're at. I do want to mention again, guys, my new flashlight. This is the Saber. It is a AA rechargeable, so it can't take a standard AA. I got Blaze Orange. Blaze Orange is my favorite color. But anyway, if you drop it, you can easily find it for an EDC light. Now, we have a tactical version that's got the butt cap to strike with and stuff like that. Sometimes that's a little bit big. Something I want just small, especially if you're like wearing shorts or something, just an EDC light. The other benefit about this is because of my bad luck with headlamps, because I'm sure you probably had this. If I'm having all these bad luck with headlamps, you probably are too. But this has a reverse pocket clip, so it can go both ways, and it can clip onto your hat. So if you got to change a tire or something like that in the middle of the night, but it has a standard pocket clip as well. So 2-way, so it can go in your pocket. And it has 2 modes, high and low, so you can preserve battery life. And, you know, obviously we make a tactical light called the Ratel, which I'll put links to both of these before. This is a weapon light, so has a push pad here and mounts on it. It's also rechargeable. You can see the recharging port right there. So it's on the outside, so you don't have to take it off your bang stick to charge it. But very reasonable. The thing is, I wanted to create something reasonable for people. You can go buy whatever you want to buy. If you want to go buy a $500 flashlight, so be it. Just make sure they're not supporting anti-gun Democrats, because most of them are. But I wanted to make something for the common man to afford, because I feel like you should have good gear. And if it's got a BSS crest on it, it's good. That I designed it, and it's something that I use. So anyway, Freedom Stick. I like that, John. Freedom Stick. Anyhow, guys, I wanted to share all this information with you tonight, because I think that most Americans, I mean, let me know in the comments on your day-to-day, when you're talking to fellow Americans, do they seem completely oblivious to this? Because that's what I feel like. I feel like most Americans, some are waking up, but for the most part, most people are just completely oblivious to what's going on in this country. Dane, thanks. He said he's moving back to Alaska. Good luck, brother. Anyhow, make sure to drop a comment. Let me know about your day-to-day life. When you're talking to people, what are they saying? Sheen Forster, you got my like. Good deal, man. Thank you. All right, guys, leave a comment. Let me know your day-to-day with people, what they're saying, what they think. And remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, always stay dangerous. Take care.